That's my best friend.
Guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk about 5 tricks to boost your eBay sales. Now I know that this is Q4 and everything, so you're going to get a lot of sales, hopefully, just because of the season. But 5 ways to boost your sales in case your sales are slow. Number one is going to be revise your listings. So what you want to do is go in your different sales items and revise your listings. If your items are not selling, it's possibly a bad keyword or keywords that your items are not getting the views that they should be getting. So what I usually do when I'm revising my listings is I'll go to the sold items and then take a look at type in my item that I have and see what similar items or the same items have sold, and then see what type of keywords those people are listing, and then I'll just kind of revise my listing to, kind of match those, because 9 times out of 10, the keywords that they're using have been getting people to look at those listings. So you want to go ahead and revise your listing. Another thing you can do is do a keyword search to see which keywords are being looked at the most. So the way you can do that is I always use keyword.io, and I'll put the link down in the description. If you go to that site and say you have a red BB dress, you want to type in red BB dress, or you can just type in red dress, and then it will generate a list of keywords that are um, good for your listing. So that's another way that you can go ahead and revise your listing. You can use those keywords that pop up. And then another way that you could use keywords is just to, revise your listing is just to switch the title up. Even if you change it around a little bit, if you do have the good keywords, just switch it up a little bit. Make sure there's no characters in the title, because those don't generate a good search. Make sure you're not using all caps. So things like that. So number two, you want to edit your price. Again, what you can do is go to sold listings and see what actually those items sold for that are similar to yours or like yours. Maybe your price may be too high, or sometimes it's even too low. Plenty of times I have had items that were priced too low, and soon as I raise the price, those items sell. So sometimes people look at things a lot differently than other people will. Sometimes people will look at an item like, okay, why is it so low? Something may be wrong with it. I don't want that when I'm going to buy one for a better price, a higher price. And then some people feel like, they're going to get this one because it's a steal. So, it's just trial and error. So if it's low, make it high. If it's high, you probably might want to take a chance and um, decrease your price on the listing. So that's number two. Number three would be to scroll through often. eBay loves activity, so if you don't have anything to do, if you're waiting in line or waiting at the doctor's office or something, just go into your eBay listings and just scroll through. It shows activity. Number four is going to be list daily. Now, this one, it does work. It really does work, because um, it's gonna give eBay that notion that you are constantly listing every day new fresh items into your store, into their database, and it's just going to refresh your whole store. So a lot of times when I list daily, I notice that something that's very old would sell. So I don't know how the algorithms work in that way, but listing daily does help. I can vouch for that fully. And then number five, I would say, is to get rid of the dead weight. So you may have items that have been sitting around since, I mean, if it's been sitting around like more than 90 days, come on, like, I mean, if it's a really good item, I would probably wait it out. Say, for instance, if you bought something like the end of summer, it was summer wear, and you were going right into the fall and winter, and it's not selling, it could be the season, but different places still would buy summer wear. Some people in different areas will still buy summer wear. Like your people on the West Coast may be still wearing shorts and things like that, as opposed to the people on the East Coast. So I wouldn't count it all the way out. So if it's a really good item and you know that it sells, I would keep it in there and just go back to trick number one, where you're just going to revise the listing, or trick number two, where you're just going to edit the price or something like that. So all of these um, tricks that I'm telling you about, they kind of go hand in hand. So if one is not working, you can use another one. So yeah, that's number five. And then also the dead weight, the dead items, they're just can't constantly stagnant, and they're going down to the bottom of the list. So a lot of times people, the buyers aren't even making it down that far, because nobody's really scrolling down that far just to see what other. I mean, some people will. Don't get me wrong, some people will. Some people have that much time on their hands, but nine times out of ten, pretty much, if it's not on the first, I'm gonna say the first 3 4 pages, then it's kind of like, you need to go back to step three, or trick number three, and not three, but one, and revise the listing. Just revise the listing. Or another thing that you can do is just relist it all together in the item, or wait till it falls off, and relist it all together, fresh and new. You might want to take new pictures, or if you don't want to take pictures, switch maybe your last picture with the first picture, and then when they're looking at the main photo, it just has a different look. So that's another good tip. So those are my five tips. And just to recap, number one is going to be revise listings. Number two, edit your prices. Number three, scroll through often. Number four, list daily. And number five, get rid of the dead weight. All right. So I'm going to put the link in the description for the keywords in case you want to um, take a look at that. And then just another brief tip, like the items that you want to get rid of, like the dead weight items, you don't necessarily have to get rid of them, meaning, take them back to the Goodwill. Most of the times that's what I'll do. But sometimes if they're really good items, I'll try to sell them locally. So I'll put them on like an offer up, a bonanza, or a Facebook marketplace. So that way you're not spending any money for your items to relist them. With eBay, I mean, since you pay fees just about for everything, I would just kind of be mindful of, the items if they're sitting around and stuff. Because you want to constantly rotate so you can have fresh, new inventory all the time. Because that just really looks good on your part. Okay, so if you guys have any questions or comments, or know any other great tips and tricks, just put them down in the comments below, because we love to share. And the more the merrier. And I hope you guys all have a great Q4.